Hello, hello, beloved, amazing, beautiful, magnificent women of the world. I welcome you to my show, Your Radiant Life Over 45, a show for women who want more from life, mature women. And we are called at this time in world history to step forward, to step up and be the light, the love, the inspiration for others to follow, so we can change the world. So today, because in a couple of days, actually on the 8th of this month, we have the solar eclipse that is very rare. And but without further ado, let me just start what I want to share with you today so that I don't run out of time. So throughout history, total solar eclipses have held significant mystical and spiritual meaning across various cultures and various civilizations. And these meanings often stem from the dramatic and awe-inspiring nature of a solar eclipse, the event where the day turns into night momentarily, and the sun, a life-giving force of warmth and light, appears to be momentarily more and more until it is extinguished. Can you imagine how frightening that must have been for the people, for ordinary people who witnessed this, that during the day, all of a sudden, it got darker and darker until it was, the sun wasn't there anymore. That must have been so frightening. Thousands and even just maybe 100 years ago, before ordinary people knew what actually was happening and that the sun would only be temporarily blocked out. But even in modern times, a total eclipse is still a mystical event in the heavens. And I researched a little bit, and here are some mystical and cultural interpretations associated with a total eclipse, a total solar eclipse. So in many cultures, the solar eclipse is seen as a symbol of rebirth and renewal. The temporary darkness followed by the return of the light is often interpreted as a cycle of death and rebirth, symbolizing new beginnings and the cleansing of of negative energies. Another interpretation is that it's a divine intervention. In ancient times, solar eclipses were often seen as messages or interventions from the gods. And different societies interpreted these events in various ways, sometimes seeing them as omens of gloom and doom, and other times as messages of hope or a call to go within and reflect. Today, there are definitely changes. I mean, today we know exactly what a solar eclipse, a total solar eclipse is all about. And we anticipate it and we prepare for it in our own personal ways. And some don't even notice it at all, unless it gets dark. And it doesn't get dark everywhere on the earth. There is a certain path. And when you live within that path, then you have this dramatic happening. People who were in the direct path of the last total eclipse, and that was in the US in 2017, have reported that even hours before the eclipse, the temperature got lower. It got cooler, much cooler, they say. So when the eclipse happened, the temperature dropped considerably, making people aware of how much the sun actually not only lights up the world, but warms the earth. And people have reported that birds go silent, that there's almost like a stillness in nature. And streetlights come on during the total eclipse. And everything seems to hold its breath, or at least slows down. Another observation, rather a realization, was how little control we have over nature's events. We are observers, and we are observers much more often than we believe we are in control. So there is also this idea about transformation and change. The unique and powerful visual spectacle of a solar eclipse is seen by many as a symbol of transformation. It represents a time for deep introspection, personal growth, and change. The eclipse's rarity adds to its significance as a cosmic symbol for transformation. I mean, it absolutely gets your attention if you are in the path. With the cosmic significance comes a call also for many of us, even in the preparation. It's a call to come together in unity and harmony. And this shared experience of witnessing a total solar eclipse, whether you see it because you are in its path and you actually see it through these, tinted glasses directly, or you are somewhere else in the world and witness it online. It will be shown all over the world online. The event often brings communities and people together. They want to witness it together. And in some spiritual circles, this collective experience is seen as a reminder of humanity and our unity and the need for harmony amongst ourselves and for harmony with the cosmos and the natural world. Many spiritual practitioners view the time of a total solar eclipse as particularly potent for meditation, prayer, new beginnings, as I said before, setting intentions. The unusual energy of the eclipse is believed to amplify spiritual practices and also the introspection to wanting to bring into life something new. For some, it symbolizes our oneness with all there is and being open to a cosmic alignment and a spiritual awakening. Eclipses occur due to the precise alignment of the Earth, the Moon, and the Sun. So the shadow of the Moon covers or comes across the Sun. And this alignment is often interpreted as a moment of cosmic synchronicity, carrying powerful energies for spiritual awakening and the call for enlightenment. It's important to note, though, that these interpretations vary widely across different cultures, and of course, they vary across spiritual traditions. The mystical meaning of a solar eclipse is deeply personal. It can differ greatly from one individual to another, depending on their personal beliefs, their experiences, and the context in which they experience the eclipse. I want to share a poem with you that I asked for and was given. It was given to me. I love it, and I hope you get some insights from this poem too. It's about the eclipse and its promise for renewal. So here it goes. It's a poem, so there is a little bit of rhythm and rhyme in there. In the shadowed silence where whispers dwell, beneath the cloak of darkness, as vast as night's own well, there lies a hidden moment, a pause between the beats. a total solar eclipse where sun and moon do meet. The world, but for a moment, holds its breath in wait as day turns into night and destinies may fade. In this celestial dance, a spectacle so rare, a tapestry of cosmos woven with care. For mature hearts that ponder and eyes that gleam with years, this darkness is not final. It's where hope appears. It's a journey from the shadow into the light. We find a metaphor for life and the trials we have left behind. The eclipse, a reminder of renewal and of grace, a cycle of the heavens in the vastness of space. As the shadow passes slowly, light begins to breach again, bringing warmth and vision and lessons it will teach. Let this cosmic event, a spectacle so divine, remind us of the light that in darkness can still shine. For we are like the eclipse, with faces dark and bright, emerging from the shadows into the warmth of light. So let's embrace this moment as the moon obscures the sun, knowing that the light returns once the eclipse is done. A symbol of renewal, of beginnings and of ends, a testament to the strength and resilience that transcends. Do you love that song? If you want, I will print it out and share it. If you maybe just send me an email. My name, christie.angelika@gmail.com. And I also found some songs that I believe remind me or are relevant to the total solar eclipse. Do you remember the song, "Once upon a time there was light in my life, now there is only love in the dark"? Bonnie Tyler's Total Eclipse of the Heart. You remember that song? If you're old enough, you may do. For an event as significant and awe-inspiring as a total solar eclipse, coupled with the themes of darkness moving into light and renewal, another song comes to mind. And it is the one, and if you're old enough, and even if you're not at that old, we know so many of the Beatles songs, right? Here's the song, "Here Comes the Sun." Yeah, you know that one? Written by George Harrison. The song captures a sense of optimism, change, and the welcoming of brighter days ahead. And this gentle melody and hopeful lyrics make it a fitting accompaniment and accompanying the moments of reflection and renewal. I can't help but smile and feel a deep sense for a time when I was young, and the world seemed to promise an era of awakening and coming together, but it never really did. But we were hoping so much. Do you remember that song that resonated so deeply with the theme that we have today of moving from darkness to the light? There is one that's called "The Sound of Silence" by Simon and Garfunkel. And while it starts with the focus on silence and solitude, its powerful imagery and contemplative tone also suggests the possibility of coming together to understand each other and our world in a new and in a better way. So these songs, and oh yes, I can't forget this one of my favorite ones. Announced, it's a little loud out there. My apology for that. Announced a new time and the arrival of a new era. Do you remember the age of Aquarius, which actually started in 2012? And it encapsulated the essence of transitioning from darker periods in our world's history into times of light and renewal, of love, much like the symbolic nature of a solar eclipse. This song is from 1969 and was sung by the Fifth Dimension. Do you remember this song? Listen to those songs again. And this time, not just in a nostalgic way, but with a sensitivity to what has been foretold and is on the horizon to be witnessed and actively manifested, because you and I have been spiritually awake for some time now, yes? We have been anticipating the glorious shift from the low, dense, three-dimensional reality of struggle, division, war, suffering, to a higher frequency of love, collaboration, and inclusion. The time of the divine female is at hand. Sometimes we ask for something extraordinary to happen, to bring in this new era, a new awareness, a new understanding, and to signal that the time is now or is at hand, and that you are exactly where you need to be, and that you are not alone, but part of a powerful movement toward peace, unity, and abundance for all. The upcoming total solar eclipse on Monday, so that's just a couple of days away, is a rare event that can be as significant as you personally want it to be, or as you are open to receiving it. These could be beautifully complemented and become with whatever you want to bring more into it. Maybe an atmosphere of reflection and of new beginnings associated with anything that you can relate to. And just sit with it, sitting in silence and allowing to be filled with inspiration and with glimpses of that don't come from your brain, that actually come from a different place of deep inner knowing. And exploring the metaphor of a solar eclipse as it relates to our own mental conditions of light and shadow really offers a rich field of deep and reflective inner questioning. I have written down a couple of questions that maybe you like to write down and ask yourself. And if you cannot write them down as quickly as I say them, you can always go back and watch this episode again. Right now it's live, but it will be in the archives. And when you watch it again from the archives, of course, you can stop the recording at any moment, write something down, and then continue with it. So here are some of the questions that can help maybe probe both of the shadow and the light within you, encouraging introspection and self-discovery. So events like the solar eclipse allow us to ask ourselves these questions that at least came to mind. And I thought about some questions that may be represented by your shadow self and others by your light self, because we have those two within us, our shadow side and our light side. So for your shadow self, one of the questions, I think I have 6, could be, what aspects of myself do I typically hide from others? And why do I choose to keep those hidden? Maybe I repeat them once so that you have a little time to write them down. What aspects of myself do I typically hide from others? And why do I choose to keep those hidden? Another question. I think I have 6 questions. When I encounter traits in others that trigger strong negative reactions in me, what does this reveal about the shadows I haven't acknowledged within myself? This is a little bit of a longer question. Okay, I repeat it. When I can encounter traits in others that trigger a strong negative reaction in me, what does this reveal about the shadows I haven't acknowledged within myself? Third question. In moments of conflict or stress, what patterns of behavior emerge that I am not proud of? What fears or insecurities are driving these patterns? Okay. Third question was, in moments of conflict or stress, what patterns of behavior emerge that I am not proud of? And what fears or insecurities are driving these patterns? And question number 4, what memories or experiences do I avoid revisiting, and what unhealed wounds might they conceal? Again, number 4, what memories or experiences do I avoid to revisit, and what unhealed wounds might they conceal? That's a pretty deep question, so it may take some time to explore. Question number 5. How does my shadow self affect my relationships with others? In what ways might I protect my unacknowledged parts? Okay, let me read this again. How does my shadow self affect my relationships with others? And in what ways might I protect my unacknowledged parts onto them? Question number 6. What would it look like to confront and embrace my shadow self? How might acknowledging these aspects bring about transformation? Got it? Have I repeated that already? Maybe I repeated. What would it look like to confront and embrace my shadow self? How might acknowledging these aspects bring about transformation? Okay, so we also have time for the questions about your lighter self, your light self, not just your shadow, but also your light self. So first question about your light self. What qualities or strengths do I possess that I feel most proud of? And how can I share those more openly with the world? Because very often we have those, we know those, but we keep them to ourselves rather than sharing them. And you are here to share them. So what qualities or strengths do I possess that I feel most proud of? And how can I share those more openly with others in the world? Second question about your light self. In moments of joy and fulfillment, what parts of my true self am I expressing? It's an interesting question. I repeat it. In moments of joy and fulfillment, what parts of my true self am I expressing? Question number 3. How does my light self contribute to the well-being and upliftment of others around me? For all of those who are in service in others, in the service for others. This is an important question. How does my light self contribute to the well-being and upliftment of others around me? Question number 4. When have I been a source of light in someone else's darkness? And what did that experience teach me about my own capacity for compassion and empathy? I repeat, when have I been a source of light in someone else's darkness? And what did that experience teach me about my own capacity for compassion and empathy? Question number 5. What dreams or aspirations do I have that reflect my highest potential and purest intentions? What dreams or aspirations do I have that reflect my highest potential and purest intentions? Number 6, how can I cultivate a deeper connection to my light self, ensuring that it guides me and guides my decisions and interactions? That was the last question for the light, and I repeat it. How can I cultivate a deeper connection to my light self, ensuring that it guides my decisions and interactions? So I am asking you to, consider to reflect on these questions and see what comes up, what introspection come up. We acknowledge that just as the moon's shadow momentarily dims the sun's brilliance during an eclipse, a total eclipse especially, our shadow selves can also obscure our inner light. Yet understanding and integrating these aspects can lead to more profound discoveries and understandings in a holistic sense of more of who you are. And what are some of these questions you can feel into? You want to ask yourself, outside of what I just have shared with you, what other questions come up for you? So why not make this rare event of the solar eclipse on the 8th of April an even more memorable event by gaining more insight and clarity about who you are becoming, or who you want to become, and clear that path, because it all starts with understanding more of who you are. And that it's really the way home. I believe that the true desire of our earthly life is to experience ourselves in every way possible, so that we gain more insight about our true nature, and then find our way back to ourselves, our true selves, our home, our eternal selves, that which the body is just a vehicle for, that which is immortal, your true self, your eternal self. And understanding that better is such a powerful and joyful journey into your innermost holy self. So this is really what I wanted to share with you today, because I really have been lately, my body is changing. Everything is changing. We are all touched and within that energy field of higher frequencies that everybody is going through, because we are all connected in this grid, in this yes, worldwide field of energy. You and I and everybody else is connected. And we are connected with everything there exists as well. You are connected to all there is. It's too big to fathom, I know. And yet, the more we discover our own selves, our true immortal inner selves, the greater is our capacity to fathom or to understand all of this on an even larger scale and extend it into a bigger view, a bigger reality. Yes? Okay, so this is what I wanted to share with you. Thank you for being here with me. Your time is precious. I understand that. I wish you an incredible weekend, because the weekend has just started for some. For some, it's going to close. And then on Monday, for us in this part of the world, it's going to be Monday in the afternoon when the total solar eclipse happens. But again, not everybody sees it. It's only when you look where the path travels through the United States and then through Canada, some part of Canada, the East Coast. Okay, thank you for being with me, and until we see each other again. Bye-bye for now.